We go. All right, so hi everybody. Thanks for being on. I actually wanted to give Rachel, I'm gonna just start you off right away so we can just dive right in because I do want to, like I always say, I want to be respectful of your time, you guys, and so I don't want to go too long tonight. But I asked Rachel to share a little bit about something that's really worked for her, something that's, she's learned, especially this last year, becoming a coach. She's really growing her business a ton lately, and her posts are amazing. So I asked her to share a little bit about her personal development. And so I'm just going to let you start talking, Rachel.
I don't know if I know everyone on here, but I'm Rachel, and I've been actively coaching since March. And so I just wanted to share something that has been a game changer for me and has helped me not only with my business, but when my business has crashed and when things have gone really wrong and I've had some losses and, like with the ups and downs. And um, PD has saved my life in my business. And I know that we talk about it a lot and we reference it a lot, and the top coaches talk about it a lot. But I specifically wanted to share all of the books that I've read since probably early summer. Um, Most of you know, because I talk about it all the time, I have like an hour commute one way to work. And as much as I've like internally complained about it, it's been a lifesaver because now I have all this time for my PD. And so I have an Audible subscription. It's 15 bucks a month. And the first month is free. And it's been a game changer because, I've had trauma in my life and I deal with a lot of anxiety. And so a lot of things that happen when you're starting out I feel like without this, it might have derailed me. And so I would love if you guys have a keyboard handy, if you could type out any books or audiobooks that have been big for you, because I would like some suggestions for sure. But I'm going to share what I'm doing and how it's helped me really quick. So, since I want to say maybe like late spring, I have listened to a couple of them you guys are going to know for sure. Girl, Wash Your Face, and Girl, Stop Apologizing. I was the biggest skeptic of her, by the way, but now I'm obsessed. Um, then I read or listened to Learning to Lead Like Jesus, which a lot of us actually were listening to at the same time. That group kind of like imploded, but like a lot of us were reading that. Um, and then I listened to You Are a Bad ASS, which is not faith-based, but was so good. So good when it comes to getting the things done and confidence in your business. And then probably just incredible. I just finished Take Control of Your Life by Mel Robbins. Um, The Slight Edge. I haven't heard of that one. Which that one for me, if you've been, so good. Take Control of Your Life, Mel Robbins. And then the one I started today is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And so in addition to that, I see Jenna said 100 Days to Brave. This is my devotional that I do every day called 100 Days to Brave. um, but I've listened to all these. So even if you have just like a 5 or 10 minute commute, then your book will last you the whole month. Whereas I'm done with my audiobooks in a dang week because I'm commuting 8 trillion miles a week. And so, yes, I've had the support of my husband and of God and of Jenna and you guys like have changed my life, but that's what was missing 1,000,000%. And with the ups and downs of me figuring this out, eat that frog. Um, it's like, it's filled in all the gaps and, has given me strength in so many areas where I was weak and challenged. And so if you're someone that's like, I don't have time, I get it, but um, it is just, it's been the ultimate game changer in my business and in talking to people and in taking risks and in like retiring myself from my job, God willing, this year. Um, and in being myself in my posts. I mean, it's really just changed a lot. And so, um, yeah, the slight edge, eat that frog, yo, unf yourself. Yes, I've heard about that one. Um, yeah, and so that's pretty much it. Just that, like, we hear about it and people kind of, we harp on it a lot, but in addition to everything else I was trying to do, it wasn't enough. And this was the missing piece. So I just encourage you to reach out if you need suggestions, and I'm more than happy to babble on about it.
Rachel, do you feel like that personal development has really helped with your conversations too with people? You know what I mean? Like really being able to build them up and pour belief into them and really like utilize your personal development to actually talk people through things and objections and stuff like that?
1,000,000%. Because when I started out and wasn't doing any PD, I would freeze. I would feel paralyzed when I was talking to people. I wouldn't know how to answer certain questions. Was not just a matter of looking into the coach office. It was helping me have confidence in what I was saying and in just approaching people. I mean, I was at one point terrified to even message somebody, and it was building a confidence, I would say, in the way I would even talk and the things I was willing to say about myself, and in order to, I guess, inspire other people who could relate. Whereas before I was way too shy, way too self-conscious, and reading these literally helped me. I'm not there yet, but it helped me turn around a lot of those inner dialogues so that I had the confidence to kind of, whatever someone's going through and I'm talking to them, I feel like I know a lot more what to say and how to say it.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you nailed it too, because I think our biggest fear is talking to people, right? And like putting ourselves out there and sharing a little bit about our story that's like really vulnerable. And I think if you are scared to do that, personal development is your rock, I guess, or you're like your confidence, filler upper. It's like something you have to pour in to build up that concrete to create a more of a solid, confident being. I always see things like visually. I'm kind of strange like that, but like just literally building up like a huge pillar, and that's like your personal development pillar, which makes you super strong as a person. So I think that's so important, and I think that's something that I am not good at. I'm not good at personal development. I hate reading. I don't take the time to sit and listen because I know for me, I am not a very good learner. And I've always struggled with that. And so things that I listen to, like, you asked me what I just listened to, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I was thinking about like 10 other freaking things. So when it comes to, for me, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I literally have to put my earbuds in, listen to it while taking notes also, and probably even reading along in the book too. Like I literally need all the things to keep my mind on it. But it is so crucial. And I find myself listening to more and more personal development, like while I'm getting ready, in the car, just finding those little 5 to 10 minute breaks. I have really loved being able to incorporate it into my posts too. Like you said, Rachel, like you don't know what to post about. You most likely, whatever you listen to or read about in your personal development, somebody else would love to hear, and it would speak so much into your social media. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Of course.
Okay, you guys, I want to dive right into what I want to talk about tonight. And I'm actually like really nervous. I'm really nervous tonight to like talk. And I'm usually not that nervous because I love speaking and I love team calls, but this is something that's actually been on my heart a lot to share more about with you guys. I haven't shared about this in my social media at all. So I know some of you know my story a little bit from this past year. Some of you are brand new, like Eileen. It's so good to see you on this call. And Kelly, I know you guys are just, newer coaches, and I just appreciate you guys being on here. But I think that it's easy to and I titled this call, I don't even know what I titled it, consistency in your business during seasons of inconsistency in your life. And this was me all year since November 30th of last year, all the way through into this year. And I don't want to spend too much time on my story because it's very long and there's a lot involved. But I do want to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys tonight, so like what I kind of want you to know what I went through, just so you know that you can push through whatever you're going through as well. And so you know that you have somebody in your corner that probably can relate a little bit. So if you ever need to lean on somebody or share something that you haven't shared, like I will hold you tight and I will be your biggest supporter and all of that. So, okay, I hope that just made sense. But I want to talk about, because it's so easy. Okay, let's back up a little bit. It's so easy with running your own business, such as coaching, to make excuses. Am I right or am I right? Right? So it's easy to make excuses. It's easy to, even if a day doesn't go right? Maybe your routine is totally thrown off. Like today, for example, my son is sick. He didn't go to school. It kind of messed up my routine. I didn't work today, like at all yet. And it's just kind of eating me alive. But am I going to just say, well, screw it, I didn't work today, so I'm just not going to do anything? No, probably not. I'm probably going to stay up another extra 30 minutes to an hour tonight. I'm going to get it done. So it's just like stuff like that, where life is going to throw crap at you in the face. It's going to, throw you curveballs. It's going to be a messy, and life is just not going to be perfect. But that doesn't mean that we have to put our dreams and our goals and our visions to the back burner because life is crazy. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of times we let life be our excuse for actually getting to where we want to be in our business or in our health and fitness even. Like it can be anything that you're going through. And I will preface this. I'm not saying that if somebody has, let's get really like bad, but like if somebody dies, like you still have to work your business, girlfriend. Like I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, you have to do things even if it's like crazy, like there's a tornado or whatever. So don't get me wrong, but I do want you to know that life will always be hard. Life will never go as you plan it to be. You will have to make hard decisions in your life. But your dreams and your goals will always still be there. And so it's up to you to determine whether are you going to find strength in your situation and try to get out of the situation stronger, or are you going to let that situation that throws crap in your face tear you down, make you quit, and, kind of break you so you are actually weaker? So that's what I'm leading with. And I'm going to share a little bit about my story because it's been a very, very tough year, and I'm still here with you guys. And I am so, I have to just say, I'm kind of proud of myself because it was really, really hard. It was really hard. So November 30th of 2018, last year, that was one of the hardest days of my entire life, even not even comparing to pushing a baby out. November 30th of last year, I left my husband and I walked away from my marriage. And that was the hardest day of my life. And the reason being is because he struggled. He struggled with addiction, made some really bad choices, bad decisions that affected our entire family, that destroyed our finances. We went broke. We couldn't afford rent that was due the next day. And it was just the consistent lying and all that. I'm not going to talk about him because that's another story. But I knew that I needed to take action. This had been going on for years. not just a few months, not just the last few weeks. It had been going on for years, 3+ years. And so I just knew that if I didn't make this decision to like make a change, there would not be any change. There would be zero change because nothing's changed so far. And so I took it upon myself to kind of give an ultimatum. And that ultimatum happened. And so I took the kids, I got in a flight. No, I didn't. I didn't even fly. I drove. We moved from Colorado to Spokane to start a new life, to start fresh. Didn't end up happening that way. So anyways, long story short, I moved back home here where I am right now, which is Vancouver, Washington. And we were separated for 9 months. During that time, when I decided to walk away and leave, I was in a 1-star qualification. And I had to hold my rank for 6 weeks in order to be able to go to new leadership in February. And that was my big business goal. It was huge for me. And a lot of you know I take my business very seriously. So in the midst of everything that was happening in my personal life, which was the most stressful time of my life and most emotional and crazy for my kids and all of that stuff, it was the biggest opportunity in my business also, and the most stressful time in my business. It was the end of the year. It was the last chance I had to qualify for new leadership in that year. So I could have gone one of two ways, right? I could have just said, I guess I'm just not going to go. And I guess I'm just going to let my account crumble because I have to deal with this first. I guess I wasn't meant to go. I guess, I'm just not strong enough for this. Or I could have just pulled my pants back up and done the things that I need to do in order to actually make the goal happen, and show that my kids that I'm stronger than somebody tearing me down, and show people and show my team. Let's be honest. I couldn't quit. I had to show up for my team and my clients. And I had to be that person that wasn't going to quit, because it wasn't just me quitting on myself. It would have been me quitting on all of you guys. It would have been me quitting on my clients, my business that I had built from the ground up for 2 years almost. And I knew that it wasn't an option, and I knew that I was just going to make it happen. So I decided and made the decision to still work. I still showed up. Did I sleep in, and was I depressed every single day? Heck yes, I was. I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. It was hard enough for me to show up on team calls because I didn't want people to ask me questions. My worst fear was social media, because guess what? I had just moved from Colorado to Spokane, which was a huge move. I shared about it. And then all of a sudden I am drastically moving in 2 days. I had 2 days to move all of my stuff, pack up everything, and get out of that house. 2 days. And all of a sudden I'm in a new house in a different place. Like, what are my followers going to think? Like, I'm just some crazy psycho person that just moves all the time. And so it was just kind of silly, but I was fearful of being judged and people asking me questions. And I'm like, I can't share about my personal life. Like, I can't share about this. Like, I'm supposed to have it all together. I'm supposed to be the strong person that has, the perfect kids. And like, I can't share about that, And so anyway, it was just a hard time. And so months and months and months went by where I still showed up in my business, and I was still working through personal stuff. And I felt like I needed to share that, because it would have been so much easier to just quit and be with my parents and let them take care of me and hide inside of my room and sleep the day away and never do anything with my life. But I knew that wasn't going to work. So I decided to lean on, instead of making coaching a burden and feeling like this business was a burden for me and stressful, I decided to take this opportunity to really pour into it. I decided to really lean on you guys for help and support. Even though not everybody knew my story, I knew that I needed to plug in. I needed to stay alive. I needed to stay awake. I needed to have goals, consistent goals to help keep me on track. And, their psychoanalysis or whatever, it could have, maybe that's not a healthy thing either, but depression's not healthy either. Binge eating is not healthy. Over exercising isn't healthy, but I was doing all of those things. But literally I was at a point in my life where I was just trying to function. I was just trying to be a mom. I was trying to get my life together. We had no money. The only income that I had was Beachbody. That was another driving factor for me not to let this business go, because I knew that if I was going to be a single mom, perhaps, this is all I got. This is all I got. So I had to make some crap happen, and I could not let everything that I had built up and worked so freaking hard for just go to the ground, because now I needed this more than ever. I needed it more than ever because now it's all on me and I relied on this, and it's the only thing I have left. So, I am thankful. I mean, now I can say I'm thankful Beachbody has saved my life. It paid for my bills. It helped me pay my credit card when nothing else was coming in. It helped me pay for, my kids' clothes because I was the only one. Yes, I lived with my parents for a while. They were very helpful, so I have to give them credit. But I didn't want to rely solely on them, and I wanted to be the provider for my kids because I'm a grown adult. So in saying all of that, I'm not sharing this for a pity party. I'm not sharing this to be like, oh my gosh, Jenna, that's so hard. I don't need any of that. But what I do want you to realize is that crap happens, and we don't always see what's going on in other people's journey and other people's lives. And so we also have to remember that when talking to people, when messaging them. If they say, oh, I just can't right now, we can't just get mad and be like, oh my gosh, it's so annoying. Why won't they sign up? Maybe they were going through what I was going through. Maybe they just need a friend, and maybe they just need that support. So always keep that in mind, and also think for yourself, no matter what life throws at you, what are you going to decide? Because it's completely up to you. It's completely up to you to either keep going and learn from your situation and learn to be stronger instead of crumbling, or it's up to you to crumble. And so I can say now on this day, me and my husband got back together, by the way, 4 months ago, and we are working some crap out, and we're making it work because he was willing. And I always say people deserve 10th, 20th, 30th chances in life if they're willing to be better, if they're willing to change, if I'm safe, and if I'm happy. I will give them another chance. So we're never perfect. You won't see me talking a whole lot about marriage because it's still pretty private for us. We haven't completely worked through it, so I don't share about it a lot. But I just want you to know that it stuff happens, and I did choose to keep going. And a lot of us and a lot of coaches out there, I know, don't choose to keep going when it gets hard. And then life gets even harder, right? Because then we're harder on ourselves, and then we have regret. And then all of these other things happen that we just haven't gotten stronger from. We just keep quitting. So I consider this situation a blessing. I think everything happens for a reason. I just think it's up to us to really run with those things that happen to us. You either run with it and learn, or you just pity yourself and crawl into a hole. So I don't know if this is, I hope this is helpful, you guys. I felt really strongly I needed to share about this. This is something that's been pretty private for me, but I'm also really open and willing to share anything because life can't get any crazier. I mean, and I just think if I have the opportunity to help one person out there that maybe can relate or understand, if I can connect with another woman out there that has struggled with, addiction, drug abuse, or physical abuse, sexual, whatever it may be, that's also our job as people, You know, we put on our coach hat and we say, oh, we want to help with health and fitness, health and fitness, health and fitness, you know, but we also have the opportunity to put on like a counselor, mentor, we've gone through shit hat, and be that person and that light for other people. So anyways, I hope that made sense. I just want to encourage you that no matter what you're going through, I'm not saying it has to be some crazy thing that you go through. What you go through might be hard too. Maybe it's like you struggle with depression. That's a real thing. Maybe you struggle, maybe you're like, your kids are struggling in school, and that's what is kind of holding you back from going all in with coaching, or that's kind of been your excuse or whatever. It can be something really small too that we're letting control our lives without us even realizing it. So just think about those things when it comes to your business, when it comes to really, really having a vision and knowing where you're going. If I didn't have a deep rooted, you'll hear this again, if I didn't have a deep rooted why, vision, goals, and seeing the potential that coaching has and already has done in my life, I would for sure have quit. So make sure in my ending point here, my ending point is be strong through the crap, okay? Lean on the team. Don't run away, because all I wanted to do was run away. But when I leaned in on you guys, oh my gosh, you gave me so much life. So much life. And so don't feel like you need to run away. Lean, push in, and don't pull out. And also know why you're here. If you don't know why you're here, and if you don't have fun while you're here, then you're not going to be here for long. And I'll say that in all honesty. You have to have fun. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing, and you have to love people and love yourself, right? So, okay. So that's really all I had to share tonight, you guys. But that's it. I don't know how to end that. Jeez. But I just want to share. I just want to be open with you guys, because let's be honest too, like, you guys are my family, and I never want to hide anything from you or like put on a face. I am all about being real and raw, and I want you to know that I'm an open book and always here. That's all. Okay, you can open up your mute buttons and just talk if you want.
I like that you shared that, because first of all, that's super deep. I was joking. I was like, oh, we're gonna go deep tonight, but we went deep. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I was just going off yesterday when we had our meeting, and I was like, oh, it's so annoying when people don't respond, or they say they're in and then they're like, oh, sorry. And I was just like, it's so annoying, frustrating. And I'm like, this is so true. You never know what they're going through, and you're just being so selfish, but you want to help them, but you're being greedy. And so thank you for reminding me and giving me that perspective that like people have a lot of stuff going on, and it can't always be on my time, It's never about my time.
Yeah, and I think that's I think just what, like, personally speaking for myself, what I've had to go through in my marriage for 10 years, 10 years, and working as a personal trainer, I think I've really learned to develop a really deep sense of you never know what they're going through, because look at what I'm going through. What if the person that I'm talking to right now is going through this crap? I would never write a message.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I like that you were raw and real. I don't really like when people are fake or like, oh, my life is so great. Okay, it's probably going good, but what is the something you need to talk about? Oh, I don't need to talk about anything. Are you sure? like, that, like,
Yeah, and I
talk about domestic violence abuse, and I'm glad I found a group of women that also can sometimes share that with, because men don't like to open up. Men have the hardest time opening their emotions, or they react a complete different way, and I'm dying out of breath. Sorry, I'm at football practice. But and when you were doing that, I was like, why am I laughing? She's being so real and so deep, but I'm over here having fun. I was like, wait, is she gonna laugh? Is she gonna pull a joke though? Because I'm like, I feel like she needs laughter in her life. I just want to go give her a hug.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think when it goes back to, and I always try to tie, you know, my struggle into like how can I help you in your business type thing, and that's the point of our team call right now is okay, I'm sharing my struggle and what I went through, but how I actually applied it to my life and how I got through it through my social media and all that stuff. And one thing I was afraid of is being fake on social media. Like, well, she's not being real. Like, why isn't she post any pictures about her husband? Like, I got that quite a bit actually behind the scenes. And, you know, it's just like, you have to, this is a reminder for everybody is you want to be real and you want to be raw and you want to be vulnerable and you want to share tidbits of your story, but we also want to be careful about putting too much out there, you know, for people to judge and for people to give their opinion when you don't need it in your life at that moment. So so just keeping that in mind, you know, that whatever you're going through.
I call it the 50-50 rule. What's the main point that needs to be said? And then what's the main point that needs to be shared? And then the rest, okay, I'll leave that out right now because that's me and I need to put that aside.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anything else, you guys? Anything else you want to talk about that's a little bit lighter, or anything that like stood out or that helped maybe?
Hello, it's me.
Oh my
So
God. Hey.
I just want to say again, thank you for sharing. I remember when you and I had the conversation and kind of like you said, being on social media, people can think like, oh, she's fake, she's not real. And I didn't know you that well, Jenna. And I was like, she is too perfect. I can't even. I'm like, oh my God. And then, you know, when you opened up and shared that with me, I was like, oh my God, you've never, you know, you just never really know. And it just made me love you more and this team. I see how much you put your heart into it. And I feel like um, life is crazy. There's some transitions in life that are just like, you know, so wild. But when you have a group of women who you know are like, that are doing life with you, they're doing their lives and they're doing life together, it's just so inspiring. I mean, that little piece is what keeps me going. Stay tuned for my my life transition happening soon.
I love that. I think I really appreciate that, Julia. I think you know, I appreciate you guys because I knew that you wouldn't judge me. And I think that's what I've always feared in my life. Just growing up, like always feeling judged all the time, and knowing that I have you and this team and just everybody that's even a part of Upgraded Alliance. Like, I know that maybe deep down and maybe behind the scenes you would judge me, but you wouldn't make me feel judged. And I will say that's like, sometimes I trust you guys more than my like blood family right now, because I do get judged a lot for my decisions, and it's hard. It is freaking hard to try to make the best decision you can for yourself and your kids and still be judged for it. Being judged for staying, being judged for leaving, being judged for this, being like, it is like stupid. So I'm just glad that there's not a whole lot of drama and judgment here. And I just want to tell you that I really appreciate that about this team also.
You know how much I love and adore you. And I said in the comments, like, I remember when you called me on November 30th, you FaceTimed me and you were like, Javen, eating a burger, and you were like eating fast food at a restaurant. And so like, it's just amazing to see just how far you have come and be here with you through this journey. Like, I'm mad respect, and you know, I'm in love with you. But anyways, that's beside the point. So I think one of the main points that I've heard lately listening to podcasts, you know, what I do, like, it is really discouraging, especially the season I'm in with my business and like our team. I think one of the most heartbreaking things is when you see your leaders and your coaches that are just so amazing and you know they have amazing potential when they just quit. Like, I think that's the hardest thing of the business. And while I was listening to something the other day, and it was like, the reason why people quit something like this is because their why doesn't have enough meaning. You know, you've got to dig layers and layers and layers deep into your why. You know, like, yes, I am doing this because I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but why? And you've just got to keep asking that. Well, because I want to be a present mom and I want to, you know, build those memories with my kids. But why? Because you've got to keep building layers deep, because if you don't, if you just have a surface level why, because I want to work from home or because I want to quit my job, then guess what? You're going to also quit. You're going to also quit this business when it gets hard. So you can't just have a surface level why. And I think that's why Jenna stuck through it so much, not only because of this community, but because her why was layers and layers and layers deep. And your why is going to change as you move throughout, you know, the business and as you go throughout different stages of your business. But you can't just have, I'm doing this because blank. I'm going to encourage you to ask yourself, but why? And continue to ask on that, but why? But why? So like, yes, I want to earn the Success Club trip. You know, I want to help 3 people every month because I want that free vacation. But why? Because I want to have memories with my family. But why? Because on vacation, growing up with my family, beach vacations and everything was my favorite. It's the best memories. But why? Well, because I want to provide an income for my family. But why? Because I'm tired of not providing an income. I want to support my family and I want to feel like I'm contributing to our family and to our future. Does that make sense? Like, you just got to keep asking yourself those questions, and the farther you dig deeper into that why, the farther you're going to go in this business. That's just my little 2 cents for tonight.
Yeah, I like that. I love that. And Eileen, I like what you just said too.
Yeah, coming from, I'm not a trainer, like an active trainer anymore, but part of the training that we had at Lifetime Fitness, there's a session that's called Training Solutions, and that's where we get to dig down really deep with our clients to discuss why they want to lose weight. Well, why is it so important to lose that 20 pounds? And sometimes those deep-rooted reasons would be like, I'm a single mom now and I have 4 kids and I need to lose 20 pounds because of health issues. And it builds those layers, like Javin said. You have to have those layers and that why in order to be successful. Because if not, like you guys said, you will crumble. And that's where it's really important what Rachel was talking about is really developing like have a good, how should I put this, routine of self-development in order to overcome those struggles. So you won't falter at the first thing that you fall for or fail at. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And I think we forget about that a lot of times, not only in health and fitness, but in this business. Like, I think the most common thing I hear from people who want to know more about coaching, well, I want to make money and I want to help people. That's great. That's not going to get you through this though, honey, because this business is really freaking hard. And if you don't like layer that down and tear that down and really get to the bottom surface of why you want to help people and why earning money through this business is really going to change your life, you're just not going to, not going to make it. So anyways, you guys, I love you. I will end it because I know it's getting late. But let's get a boomerang, share it in your stories, and we'll go from there. I really appreciate you guys being on so much. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, you ready? Oh, hold on. I gotta turn down my brightness. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes. Amanda has the best boomerangs ever. Oh my gosh. Thank you for listening tonight, you guys. You guys mean the world to me. I appreciate it. And let's go do big things.
I made it home safe.
Yay. Nice job. Thanks for being on, you guys. Bye.